Welcome to another Ask Arlington. I'm Jay Warren. Ask Arlington is a show that is dedicated to answering the questions that you have about what is happening here in our city, the American Dream City. And on this episode, we are focusing on Clear the Shelters Day on Saturday, August 19th. More than 700 shelters from across the country, including about 70 right here in the Metroplex, participated in the national Clear the Shelters initiative last year. And on that day, shelters remove adoption fees to help match animals with caring families. 101 animals found their forever home right here in Arlington in 2016. And joining me now to answer your questions is Chris Huff. Chris is the city's Animal Services Manager. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And before we jump into our questions, we got some really good ones from our residents. But why don't you give us some more information about this special day?
We look forward to this day all year. There's so much going on at Arlington Animal Services, but Clear the Shelter Day is a day where our amazing volunteers and our staff and our community come together and, like you said, find forever homes for amazing animals, dogs, cats. We even had a chicken last year. So
oh, wow.
We don't know until closer to the date what we're going to have.
Yeah.
But
You've had ferrets, we've had
ferrets,
iguanas,
exactly. We get a little bit of everything. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you guys do a great job of handling all the animals down there.
We
really
try.
do appreciate all your hard work. And this is a cool day, so let's get to some questions we got from some of our residents. The first one comes to us from Madeline, and she writes, how many animals are up for adoption? And August is one of your busiest months, so you're at capacity?
We are normally at capacity in August, but we have over 180 rescue groups that we work with, so they help us a lot to get animals out of the shelter. But on Clear the Shelter Day, a couple of days before that day, we start looking at the animals that are going to come available for adoption that day, animals that have been at the shelter for a while. We try to get them adopted. It just depends on how much intake we have, you know, how many owner surrenders we have. It's just all based on all of that information to say how many animals are actually available for that day.
But a good bet that it's going to be a lot because this is a busy time of the year for you.
This is our 4th year, and we've never adopted less than 90 animals.
Wow.
So yes.
All right. Well, we'll hope for many more this year for sure. And someone who may be able to help is our next person, Sarah. She writes, I need all the kitties. Clearly she's excited about the adoption services that you guys will be doing on Clear the Shelter Day. Can't take all the kitties, but she does have a question here. What comes with the adoption? Does the shelter offer microchipping, vaccines, or anything like that?
Oh, people are going to be surprised of the animals that they're going to adopt that day. The dogs come with spay or neuter, depending on if it's male or female, the city license, a microchip, the core vaccinations, rabies vaccination. The dogs have their dewormer, heartworm test, and 30 days of pet health care. So that's the dogs. Now the cats, they come with spay, neuter, the city license, a microchip, the core vaccinations for cats, the rabies vaccination, the FIV testing for cats, and 30 days of pet health care. So they get a lot for a waived adoption fee.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a tremendous amount of expense.
Yes.
So this is a great day if you need a pet to come out and get one.
This is a great day to adopt. Because the fees are waived, it allows you to go get all the pet food you need, all the pet care, items that you need. It's a great day to adopt.
Awesome. Very good. All right. Well, our last question comes to us from Samantha. She writes in, not really related to Clear the Shelter Day, but she does want to know what happens to the kittens when they're brought into the shelter when they're under 2 months old. So those little babies that come
That's
there.
a great question.
Yeah.
One of the things, again, we have 180 rescue groups, and we call them adoption placement partners that we work with, and they help us with those kittens. We also started a new foster program for those babies called Arlington Cats Alive. We're collaborating with one of the rescues on that partnership, and also if they can eat on their own, we have space where we try to house them until they're old enough to become available for adoption. And then sometimes if they are not healthy or there's some other things going on, then we may have to humanely euthanize them. But that's a last resort. So we try to get them out there and so they can have their forever home too.
What is the adoption age?
Well, they normally 3 to 4 months.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's getting close to it.
Yes,
2 months, but they just have a little
yes,
bit of time.
yeah.
All right, well, good deal. Well, and I can say personally, I've adopted one of my dogs
Yes,
from
you
the animal shelter, Wallace, which is a great part of our family, and he's been a tremendous dog. So you guys really do just great work.
Thank you. And we appreciate you and everyone who adopts from Arlington Animal Services.
Yeah, well, you got some really fine pets down there, and we're going to clear the shelters.
We are going to clear the shelter. That is the plan.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you
Thank
so
you again
much
for all
for-
your work. And thanks to you at home for writing in some great questions. That'll do it for this week's Ask Arlington. Tune in next time, and we'll answer more of your questions.